Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series videos I do for the one. I go over there, try food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That the time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you noticed, I was pretty expertly hiding it. But yeah, I definitely had a little bit of a kickback from the last review I just did. But we're going to go with it. Anyway, folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is definitely the case today. I didn't even know these existed up until today. I got off work maybe a couple hours ago at the time I'm doing this, and I went over there and, got off, and I'm trying to, I knew I needed some supplies and stuff, and so I'm trying to kind of work out where I want to go, what I want to grab. And originally I was going to go to Walmart, but I was like, you know what? I'll hit up a local spot, right? So I decided to go over there, this local supermarket chain called Jewel in Illinois. I've been going there ever since I was a kid. And, I'm looking around to see what they got and everything. Honestly, I really did just intend to go in with I'll just grab a couple of supplies. But, as you do, consumerism and such. And so I'm looking around and I spot something and I was like, fine, because I have to, especially given the time frame and everything. So what is it? What am I doing here? Time frame and all. It's boom! It's from Keebler. It's limited edition fudge stripes, Beetlejuice flavor. Well, they're Beetlejuice themed. They're dark chocolate and vanilla. Sure, man. I like Keebler fudge stripes. Used to eat them all the time when I was a kid. Not as much when I'm an adult, but I don't have anything against them. But yes, we do, of course, have the second Beetlejuice film coming out many years after the first one. So now, of course, we got the tie-in stuff. Sure, strike while the iron's hot, I guess. So let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like this. Ha 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 ha. And let's go ahead and let's try them. God, I can't think of the last time I had a fudge stripe. Years and years, I would say. Unless, maybe. The only other time I could think of would be, maybe if I went to a friend's house and they had a kid, because they might have it. It looks like that. It does not look as impressive as it does on the thing. The contrasting flavors are much more, striking, but. I mean, it's a fudge stripe. Fudge stripes, if you've never had them, they have a very specific texture to them that I've always really enjoyed. Like the way that the cookie just breaks apart. Closest thing I could think of in terms of are those little butter flour cookies that you get sometimes. Kind of reminds me of that, like the way the texture is, but it's really nice. Breaks apart really easily. Very satisfying to eat. Now, in terms of the flavor, I have to admit, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. They're still nice. They're still fudge stripes. But I was kind of hoping, again, it's been a long time since I've had even the original ones that I can remember anyway. But they were always a really properly nice treat. Something I looked forward to, in my lunch and stuff like that. And while these aren't anything bad, I don't know that they have the same oomph to them. And I was expecting with the dark chocolate, I was expecting, the dark chocolate and the vanilla to have a nice, almost maybe cookies and cream kind of thing going on, or at the very least have a really nice striking contrast between the two. But that's not really so much the case. The flavors sort of blend together. You definitely don't get a nice definition to either of them, either of the flavors at play. Yeah. There's really no contrast to flavors. I think the problem is that, like, the vanilla or whatever they're using, I think it kind of it sort of over encompasses things. And it doesn't really allow the dark chocolate aspect to really do much. And the dark chocolate aspect itself is definitely just underwhelming in general. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really getting, it's a fudge stripe, but there's no real, like, fudge element to it. So I'm not getting that nice fudge element that I'd get with a normal one. And then, again, I was really hoping that I would get, if I didn't get that, I would get, like, a nice substitute, flavor to work with. And really biggest thing that I'm getting out of it is, again, that sort of vanilla flavoring. But even then, it's less vanilla and more just kind of like a general sweet, creamy kind of flavor. It's not bad, but like it's not screaming vanilla at me. The dark chocolate isn't really being allowed to do what it should be doing. So it just ends up being kind of a nice cookie with just sort of an overall sweetness, and then kind of at the very end you get a little bit of a bite from the dark chocolate aspect, but it's like you really have to go through about 85% of the eating experience to get to it. Then once the vanilla or whatever kind of starts to fade away, you get a little bit of that. But yeah, I just feel it's not a bad idea for a cookie. I mean, who doesn't love a fucking cookies and cream cookie? But I don't know, I think this is one of those things. I can appreciate the tie-in aspect to it, but I think this is one of those things, man, you just, don't try to fix what ain't broken, because, man, the fudge rounds, their fudge stripes, those are just solid. They've worked, they've been perfected. These, not bad, but two questions have to be asked. Would I get them again? Would I recommend them? Probably not. Kinda-ish, I guess, but probably still kind of somewhat not. I think, again, going back to what I just said, tie-in stuff aside, because again, I appreciate why they're doing it, that's fine. I don't think it's a bad product. I don't think it's Keebler. They tend to make good stuff. Like, there's nothing I dislike about it. It's just not wowing me. And it doesn't have the same impact that the normal fudge stripes do, So that's kind of where I'm running into the problem, is like, you're not offering me that same kind of homey, just like nostalgic taste that I grew up with. Okay, fine. Give me something new to grab hold of. And it's not doing that. It just ends up, again, being a very kind of, it's like a C+ cookie, whereas like proper fudge stripes, those have got to be at least a B+. Those are some really good cookies. These are still good, but they just don't have a lot of personality to them. And I mean, I like the idea, but I think they needed to tweak it here and there. So for me, I wouldn't get them again. I'll eat the rest of them. Sure, I'll enjoy them in that regard, but like, they just don't feel like a really proper special cookie. And if I'm recommending them to people, it does go back to that same kind of thing. It's like, if you just want it for the tie-in aspect, good on you. There's nothing wrong with that. And to try, I mean, they're a limited edition thing. Give them a go if you want. But I would say, if you're watching my review, kind of take what I've said to heart a little bit, because these are one that you could pass them up. If you want to grab them, they're not going to be bad cookies, but I do feel like they're a little bit disappointing for being at least what I hoped they would be. And I kind of feel like I'm not going to be the only person that feels that way. Even though, again, they're not bad, they're just kind of, meh. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, give yourselves a truly proper fudge stripes-tastic rest of your life. Because again, proper fudge stripes, Keebler knew what the fuck they were doing. That's why those things have been around for 800 million years now. That's how old I am. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your opinion on fudge stripes? Hell, Keebler in general. As a kid, man, you get some nice cookies and stuff like that. Definitely were always a nice treat. Thing was, like, even as a kid, even though I wasn't really like a fat kid, that kicked in later in life. But it was one of those things where, man, family would go over there and buy some cookies, go over there and have them over there, and, be like, okay, now, Brandon, remember, these are going to be for your lunch, so, don't eat them all. And be like, okay. And then, it was just... Because I called their bluff. What were they going to do? Not feed me? No. I did the same thing with Capri Suns. My dad would buy, like, 2 packs of those things, like, within, like, 3 days, they were all gone, because I'd just wolf them down. My dad would just be like, little asshole. Oh, good times. Anyway, bye.